So hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. On today's video we're out on the gorgeous blue Triumph Tiger 1200 GT Pro. This is the bike that I've been trying to get on the channel for a while now, just to compare it to my own bike, which is a Triumph Tiger 1200 Rally Pro. Now this is the road going version, so different size wheels on the front. The Rally Pro has a 21 inch, the GT Pro has a 19 inch front wheel. Price wise on these bikes, you've got 17,295 for this version, and you've got 18,295 for the Rally version. So yeah, £1,000 difference. What do you get, or what I can see that you get difference for that? You get 200mm extra travel on the suspension front and rear on the Rally Pro. Also you get a bigger bash plate on the Rally Pro than this version. You've got 4 rider modes on this, being Road, Rain, Rider and Sport. And on the Rally Pro you've got Road, Rain, Sport, you've got Rider mode, you've also got Off-Road and Off-Road Pro. So 6 different rider modes on the Rally Pro. Cast wheels on this one, obviously 19 inch front wheel, and you've got a 21 inch, and they're spoke wheels on the Rally Pro. One thing I noticed when I jumped on this bike, at low speeds you notice it more, that it does turn in a little bit sharper with having that smaller front wheel. Seat height as well is very different. Obviously you've got 200mm more travel on the Rally, so that's going to be taller. But just to give you an example, the seat height on the GT Pro is 850mm on the standard seat to 870. This is set in the low position just now at 850mm. If I jump on it, you can see that I'm flat-footed. I have a 32 inch seam and I'm 6'2", so this is how I look currently on this bike, and this is with a suspension in its tall position. It does have a suspension reducing, which drops it down by another 10 to 20mm for going through towns, and then it raises automatic at 51 miles per hour. Now on my Rally Pro, the height is 875 in the low position on the standard seat, and also 895 at the high position. Myself, on the standard seat on the Rally Pro, I'm on tiptoes. Now with the lowering feature that it has, that you press a button for a second and it lowers the suspension by up to 20mm, I can then flat foot my bike, being a 32 inside seam. However, saying that, I have put the low seat, the heated seat, on my Rally Pro, and that drops the bike another 10mm. So it just helps. If you're a taller rider and got long legs, then the Rally Pro is fine and doable. But if you're shorter legged, then I would suggest the GT or the GT Pro would suit you more. Now weight-wise, there's not much difference between the two of them. This is with 90% full tank of fuel. The GT Pro is 246 kilograms, and the Rally Pro is 250 kilograms. So not much difference between them. They feel similar on the road. Like I say, first initial through town thought coming up to the Lake District today, I've done about 40 miles initially on this bike. At low speeds you feel it does turn in a little bit easier on the front. Once you're rolling at anything over 30 miles an hour, I can't really notice the difference between the 19 inch front wheel and the 21 inch front wheel, if I'm honest. Now tyres that this bike comes on the Metzeler Tourance tyres, whereas the Rally Pro comes on the Metzeler Karoo Street. Now those are the tyres that I instantly took off because they were quite noisy on the Rally Pro, and I changed them for Pirelli Scorpion Trail 2s. Done about 5,000, 6,000 miles on those tyres. There's no noise and they're really good on the Rally Pro. These tyres, I do notice a little bit of road noise from them, but they are more of a road going tyre. You know, it's not that noticeable, but coming from my Rally Pro with the Pirelli tyres that I've got on, I much prefer the Pirelli tyres, to be honest. Now, one thing I wanted to find out is, with the terrible roads that we've got here in the UK, you've got potholes, you've got tracks in the road where normally a smaller front tyre would track into those ruts in the road. and be a little unnerving sometimes. This actually, I'm happy to say, doesn't fall into that category. That 19-inch front wheel rides over the bumps and the tracks really well. So yeah, I was wondering whether going from 21-inch to 19 it would make a difference. I think if you're on an 18-inch front wheel, then you'd probably get that effect I've noticed on other bikes as well. Now, this bike is a 2022 version. Triumph have just launched the 2024 versions of both bikes, and differences that they've made on the new bike is they've done some reworking on the engine, especially on that T-plane crank, and they've smoothed that engine out a little bit. Some people were complaining about vibrations through the bars and the pegs. I've never had that on my Rally Pro, so it's been pretty good. Another thing that they've made better on the 2024 bikes, although I don't find the 22 or 23 bikes uncomfortable at all, is that they've made the seats a little bit flatter. So for touring and things, they're a little bit more comfy. I would have to say I've ridden the Rally Explorer with the 30-litre tank on a big tour to Switzerland and back a couple of years ago, and then I bought my Rally Pro. What I found with the Rally Explorer is the seat was a little bit flatter and ergonomics were a little bit more comfy. What I changed on my Rally Pro was that I put a low seat and some bar risers on it just to make it that little bit comfier, and I think I've got it to that sweet spot now. One thing I did notice on this bike when I was riding it down today is that when I'm riding, I'm 6'2", as I said. I've got pretty long arms, but my arms are pretty much straight. Now, yes, I could scoot up to the front of the tank and have a little bit of bend, but I do like to sit a little bit further back on the bike. So if it was my bike, I would add some bar risers to it. And also on the Rally, the bars are a little bit higher, so that when you stood up going through, off-road and things like that, then it's a little bit more comfy. Now, colours. Another reason why I went for the Rally Pro is they do a khaki green, which I've always loved on the Tigers throughout the years. On this bike, the 22 and 23, you have a blue colour. On the new bikes, on the 2024, they don't offer the blue anymore, which is a shame because I like this better than the red. So the 2024 colours, no blue anymore. We've got the Snowdonia white, we've got Carnival red, or you've got a sapphire black, but like I say, no blue, which is a shame. On the Rally Pro, you've got a jet black, you've got a matte sandstorm, which is new this year, and you've got the khaki green again. So thankfully they're not dropping the khaki green. Now, everything else seems to be pretty similar on the bike. It's got great venting that blows hot air away from your legs when you're riding along, which is a good feature with having the side-mounted radiators each side. Handguards are great, keep the wind off your hands. It's got heated grips as standard. Switch gears the same as my Rally Pro. You've got cruise control. You've got self-cancelling indicators as well, which is fab. You've got the big 7-inch TFT dash. You've got an adjustable screen, which is fab. I've found that this screen works really well in the tall position, reduces the wind buffeting on motorways. You've got great mirrors, stick out far enough that you're not really looking at your elbows. The suspension on this bike, by the way, is really, really nice. You've got Showa suspension, fully electronic suspension, and it really does soak up those bumps in the UK. On the roads, I had a whinge on the last video about the current state of UK roads. One of these bikes really, really suits the roads and soaks up all the bumps. On the back, you've got good pillion handles, so it's great for a pillion rider. Really comfy seat on the back there. You've got a rack on the back which you can strap luggage to. You've got a plate that you can buy from Triumph or Givi or whatever luggage you want to put onto the bike. So it really is a great touring bike. I've probably done about 10,000 miles in total touring on these bikes, and I find them one of the comfiest. I'm not going to go into specs on the bike. It's a 1200cc engine. I've done videos on specs of these before. You've got the Brembo Stylema brakes up front. You've got the MCS levers, master cylinder, really great brakes on this motorcycle. Can't fault it. The only thing I would say is if you're wearing boots like I am today with the big touring boots, then they're a little bit clunky trying to get the gear shift up and down. It seems to be very low for big boots like this, but you can adjust the gear levers and get them set up right for you, as you can with everything. I prefer the brake levers to be slightly bent down. I also alter the bars just a little bit back. You could probably get about 5 to 10 millimeters. If you bring them back and lower them a little bit, it would push them back. But like I say, I do have bar risers on my my own bike. Tank on this, it's not the 30 litre. You can get the GT Pro 20 litre, which this is, or you can get the GT Explorer, which has the 30 litre tank. My thought on that, I have the Rally Pro, so the 20 litre tank. You get about 225 miles to a tank of fuel, whereas the Explorer versions have a 30 litre tank and you're probably getting 325 miles per tank of fuel. So it depends what you're doing. If you're doing a lot of touring, 30 litre tank, really nice to have. Okay, so back on the bike, and yeah, I would say feeling wise from this initial run, I've got this bike for a couple of weeks, so if there's anything else that I find different or feels different when you're riding them, I'll let you know in the final thoughts video. But yeah, initially it's just height really. Ergonomics are pretty similar. Like I say, if it was mine, I would probably put bar risers on it just to bring them a little bit higher and a little bit further back, just to stop me being straight armed. And that's what I did on my own motorcycle, the Rally Pro. Quick shifters, absolutely beautiful on this bike. Really slick. Now if you're thinking of buying a Triumph Tiger, I would head into the dealer, sit on both the Rally Pro or the GT Pro, or it might be just the colour of the bike that does it for you, or the look. Personally I prefer the Rally. I love the look of that bike with the spoke wheels, although they do take a little bit more to clean them. But I feel that the GT Pro, if you were doing long tours and things, then maybe this is the better bike for those. But other than that, they feel pretty similar. Like I say, once you get moving, that 19-inch front wheel doesn't feel too dissimilar to the 21-inch front wheel. And I've had people actually say to me, Nick, you know, 21-inch front wheel for touring bike, you do a lot of tours and stuff on it, how does it feel? Yeah, I like it. I prefer the 21-inch with the terrible roads we've got in the UK. Obviously abroad you've got smooth tarmac, which is more suited to a smaller wheeled motorcycle. But I think anything from 19-inch front wheel, especially on bikes like this, to a 21-inch is perfect. Now there's only one gripe I have with both my bike and this bike, and that's the new feature, which is, you know, you press the home button here for 1 second and it lowers the suspension, which for me on the taller bike, the Rally, it's better going through town so I can flat foot it. Otherwise I'm on tiptoes on full suspension height. On this I probably wouldn't use that feature because I can flat foot this bike anyway without the suspension being lowered. But I wish Triumph would add, and it's only software, firmware they need to change, is just when it gets to 30 miles an hour that it automatically drops, and then when it gets back to, you know, 51 mile an hour as it is now, it rises again. Just that feature to stop you pressing the button, just automatic, like on some of the other bikes like BMW and KTM. I think that would be a real good feature to have. And I'm not sure if someone knows if the latest 2024 revision model has that feature. Have they worked that in now? I must ask the technicians when I go down to Triumph when I get the bike serviced, just to check on that, because if they have done that feature, I'll ask them to reflash the firmware on the ECUs to add that feature. Even if I've got to pay for it, I would prefer it. So we're just up in South Lakes. I'm going to have a nice run through the South Lakes and grab a coffee somewhere. But yeah, so far so good. And it's good to feel the differences between them. I think with myself being a taller guy, I still would go for the Rally Pro over the GT Pro. But if you're not as tall, it's always nice to have a firm flat foot on the ground, and this is the bike for you. Just in Grange over Sands. Just going to visit some family, grab a coffee, but yeah, I'll be carrying on riding this for the next 2 weeks, and I'll give you my verdict at the end of that 2 weeks on a final video, just to tell you what I think of this bike, which is all praise, as I own one myself, or the rally version. But yeah, just to try and tweak out those differences between both bikes and let you all know. So thanks again. If you've enjoyed the video, please give us a big like. It all helps the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, if you can hit that subscribe button and ding that bell for future videos coming up on the channel, appreciate it. And yeah, we'll catch you soon. Ciao for now.